right, Dallas Cowboys fans, we now have information on at least who a couple of our coordinators may actually be to fill out Coach Brian Schottenheimer's staff. Let's get right into this and be sure to subscribe for more Dallas Cowboys content. First things first, the Dallas Cowboys are looking at current offensive line coach for the Arizona Cardinals, Clayton Adams, to potentially come in and be their offensive coordinator. Now, first thing is, Brian Schottenheimer is still expected to call plays for the Dallas Cowboys as per Jerry Jones, but Clayton Adams is actually a really good name that be thrown around for the Cowboys. If you actually take a look at his resume, Clayton Adams was in his second season with the Cardinals after being hired as the team's offensive line coach in March of 2023. He came to Arizona after spending the previous 4 seasons with the Indianapolis Colts. Adams coached tight ends his final 2 seasons with Indianapolis after working as the team's assistant offensive line coach for 2 years. Prior to starting his NFL coaching career, Adams spent 14 seasons working at a collegiate level. Before coming to Arizona, he was hired as Stanford's offensive line coach and run game coordinator in December of 2022. With the Cardinals last season, Adams helped Arizona finish the season 4th in the NFL in rushing yards and 2nd in rushing average, while leading the league with 4 games of 200-plus rushing yards. The 2023 season marked just the 2nd time since 1970 and first time in 44 years the Cardinals finished a season ranked in the top 5 in the league in rushing yards. It was the 4th most rushing yards in a single season in Cardinals history and the 2nd best rushing average in team annals. The Cardinals led the NFL with 23 runs of 20-plus yards last season, becoming one of only 3 teams to have at least 23 runs of 20-plus yards in the last 10 years. First-round pick Paris Johnson Jr. started all 17 games at right tackle as a rookie and helped running back James Conner to his first career 1,000-yard rushing season. While in Indianapolis, Adams coached a Colts offense that ranked 2nd in rushing yards per game with 194.4 yards per game and 9th in points per game with 26.5 in 2021. His tight end group combined for 64 receptions for 724 yards and 7 touchdowns that season, supplementing a Colts rushing attack that featured running back Jonathan Taylor, who put together one of the best single-season performances in team history. In 2020, Adams assisted a Colts offensive line that tied the 2nd fewest sacks allowed in the NFL with 21, and Taylor became just the 5th rookie in franchise history to have 1,000 yards rushing and finished 3rd in NFL in rushing that season. The Colts also tied for the 9th fewest sacks allowed in the NFL and finished 7th in rushing in 2019. It was the team's first top 10 finish in rushing since 2001. The Colts' 4.52 yards per carry average was the 5th highest single season total in franchise history. Nelson and Kelly earned their first Pro Bowl selections, marking the first time since 2006 that 2 Colts offensive linemen made the Pro Bowl. Running back Marlon Mack had 1,091 rushing yards, the 11th best total in the NFL that season. Prior to working in Indianapolis, Adams spent 6 seasons at Colorado, where he was the team's co-offensive coordinator / offensive line coach. In 2018, after spending 2 seasons as the Buffalo's offensive line coach and 3 years coaching running backs and tight ends, he helped running back Philip Lindsay become the first player in school history to have 1,000 rushing yards in back-to-back seasons, with 1,400 in 2017 and 1,200 in 2016. In 2016, the Buffalo's offensive line posted its highest average per rush in 10 seasons. So there's a trend with Mr. Clayton Adams here. Essentially, every team he goes to, there's a couple things they do really well. The offensive linemen get better and the running backs play really well. That means he will bring excellent run schemes. He will bring excellent run concepts, excellent blocking concepts for your offensive line and in that run game. So even if he isn't necessarily calling plays for the Cowboys, he absolutely has very, very apparent value because everywhere he's been has had a very, very good rushing attack. So that lends more to the idea that Brian Schottenheimer is going to be prioritizing the run game with the Cowboys, and he's bringing in guys who have pedigree on their resume as it pertains to being able to actually field an efficient run game, right? And obviously he's the offensive line coach in Arizona. We all know Arizona, James Conner, he's doing a really, really good job out there as well. Now, that is a interview for the offensive coordinator position. One position that apparently has already been reported on as being essentially a done deal is Nick Sorensen, the special teams coordinator now for the Dallas Cowboys. According to multiple reports, he was the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers last season. I'm going to say this as it pertains to Mr. Nick Sorensen, because there's a lot of information floating around, and all of a sudden everyone's an expert on special teams coordinators. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know anything about special teams coordinators and who's the best ones in the league on this particular show. What I am going to do, however, is over the next couple of days, I'm going to inform myself more about this gentleman to give you guys a real analysis of whether or not you should be happy, excited, or just kind of in between about this particular hire, because as it pertains to Nick Sorensen, he doesn't have that long of a write-up like a Clayton Adams does. Sorensen enters his third season with the 49ers in 2024 after spending the previous 2 years with the team as a defensive passing game specialist and defensive assistant. Sorensen worked closely with cornerback Charvarius Ward, helping him earn AP second-team All-Pro honors and the first Pro Bowl selection of his career. Ward led the NFL with 23 passes defensed and was the only player in the NFL with 70 or more tackles, 5 or more interceptions, and 20 or more passes defended. Before joining the 49ers, Sorensen spent the 2021 season as a special teams coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Prior to his time in Jacksonville, Sorensen spent 8 seasons with the Seattle Seahawks, working as a secondary and nickel specialist, assistant defensive backs coach, and assistant special teams coach. Sorensen began his coaching career in 2012 as a defensive quality control coach at Youngstown State University after playing safety in the NFL for 10 seasons with the St. Louis Rams, Jaguars, and Cleveland Browns. He appeared in 131 games and registered 133 special teams tackles. Sorensen played in Super Bowl 36 as a member of the Rams. Okay, very, very interesting stuff there. So another guy that has some Super Bowl pedigree. I think that may be part of the most important thing as far as his resume goes, is the fact that he has played on the highest level in the NFL as it pertains to actually making it to a Super Bowl, and he's been a part of a program that at least shows you what the preparation looks like to get there. So, yeah, obviously the 49ers entire team was bad last year, so it's hard to judge him based off of him being a defensive coordinator last year for the team. A lot of injuries going on with the 49ers. They came into the season injured. So again, very, very hard to judge this guy off his one season as a defensive coordinator. And again, with the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think that may have been the Urban Meyer season with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So it'd be really hard to judge him off of that season as well, right? So he's kind of more of like a wait and see type of mode for us, because we really don't know who the heck Nick Sorensen is. There's a couple of little tidbits you can find about him on the internet. Maybe we'll take a closer look at this guy. But as far as him as a coach, not a lot out there. But those are the two biggest happenings as it pertains to the Cowboys coaching staff. We do know that Matt Eberflus is more than likely still going to get the defensive coordinator job. So the Cowboys coordinator spots, the top 3 coordinator spots, look to be filled with maybe a Clayton Adams as an offensive coordinator, Nick Sorensen as the special teams coordinator, and then you got Matt Eberflus as your defensive coordinator. And I will say this, Jerry is absolutely allowing Brian Schottenheimer to build his staff. And think that's important to just throw in there. I'm just saying, because all these guys have Schottenheimer ties. All of them have Schottenheimer ties. So I was going to say that. But either way, we still the same old Cowboys. Let me know down in the comments below what you want to let me know. And I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm tired, bro. Peace.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.